The Mastering Local Marketing podcast helps local small business owners like you understand what it takes to successfully market your business and drive new customers through your doors. We provide actionable insights, interview leading experts and business owners in various industries, as well as provide tips and tricks we've uncovered over the last 25 years in the field. Whether you're starting your business or you've been at it for decades, let us provide you with the education and resources you need to grow your customer base. It's time to start mastering your local marketing. Here's your host, Matt Hanson.
Matt Hanson, clinical professor at Purdue Northwestern Hammond, and I'm Jim Diedlow, owner of JED TV and WJOB. This is the Mastering Local Marketing podcast. We're up to 40 episodes. This is episode number 40.
Is it 40 already? Wow, it is. How it comes so fast?
We're going to go straight into it today. Crafting subject lines that get opened. I have some experience in this only because I took 2 graduate courses from Matt Hanson in the MBA program right behind us here. And we spent what I thought was an inordinate amount of time talking about subject lines. And then now all of a sudden on every email I get, I'm like grading it. You know, it's like, all right, that's like an A-. That one's pretty good. Oh my gosh, they didn't even think about this. That's awful. I will not open that email just because of that. So, I mean, why do this whole podcast on that one little thing?
Well, I mean, people jump into email and they start to gather their emails. They start to develop a message. They send it out to their audience. And what happens is if nobody opens it, what does it even matter that you sent, right? So think of email, let's go back to your 20s where you're going to a club or, that has a bouncer at the door. And what you end up getting is you have to have a way to get in, right? Is it the money to get in? Is it waiting in line to get in? What is it? Do you bring a big party with you? Whatever it may be. Email is like that. There's a bouncer at the door. They're trying to decide whether or not to let you in. And if you don't have a good subject line, many times people won't open it. And I had a conversation yesterday. I sat down with a bunch of small businesses in the Munster area. And we were talking about email, and we were talking about the importance of it and how to get people to open it and how to get people to click through and all these other things. And open rates really aren't a big thing at this point, right? So Apple had done some things back a few years ago that kind of, when you send an email to somebody with an Apple email on the system, it actually opens it. So it creates this fictitious open rate. So what we have to look for is, well, we're trying to get people in, but then you're trying to get people to click. So today we're just talking about getting them to your message because we want them to see what you've worked so hard at putting together. But if you don't create something that's crafty, something that creates intrigue, people aren't going to open it. They're just going to click it and delete it. I get countless emails coming to me trying to sell me on services and all of that. I'm going to tell them all right now. Stop sending me the RE : like it's been like we've had a conversation. That it's such an old tactic. Create some curiosity. I love the curiosity hooks that people do. And how do you get me to go, man, I wonder what they're talking about there. It's a teaser. It's a missing information. An email subject line that says, this is how everyone overspends on their Instagram ads. Okay, I'm curious, right? Like, what is that? How people are saving money on their taxes. We just went through tax season, right? Here's the 7 ways that people continue not to save money. All of these different things, but create the curiosity because you want to see it on the flip side.
It's almost like a social media post or when you go to your Facebook, they have the beginning of that video, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to click and see if that guy hits the water tower with the golf ball or what happens, right? And so at some point you are teasing them to get into your message.
Right. Here's a perfect example. So we've talked about the digital marketing competition that I run here at the university. When we send out the winning video, right? So not everybody's going to watch the finals, but everybody wants to know who won, and everyone wants to see the final presentation. We send an email to thousands of students at that point, and the subject line says, and the winner is, and that's it, right? We don't tell them who the winner is. We don't put team whatever from this university won. We put, and the winner is. The email goes out, and when they get into the email, we talk about the competition, how many people were involved in it, what the judges are saying, what the client is saying, and then we, at the bottom, we say, the winner is, and you have to click the link to come over to the website to see it. So we've created the curiosity to get inside the email, and once they're inside the email, we know, okay, they're in. If we give them this information here, we don't know how many people are still interacting with our emails. So we then get them to click and then come over to the website. So now I know we have active people looking at that information. We also have a whole other group over here that they're not looking at that information. So we can kind of start to dissect, look at the data and understand who's opening, who's not, who's looking at things, who's not. But the first step is just trying to drive them over into the email, and that curiosity and the winner is gets people to open it and click on it.
You get a number of them that are like, Jim, hope you're doing well, or Jim, did you go to the podcast conference like we just did? But they have gone the extra step to personalize it, and I noticed that the better ones aren't like, my name official would be out there, James. I don't know if they're changing it, but as soon as it says Jim, I'm like, all right, maybe they know me or something, and I'm going in there. So they have not just personalized the email, they have gone to the nickname of James, and they've gone that second level, and it looks like it's an email for me, and then I'll go in there, and you can. And I'm just thinking right now, the podcast conference one. Honestly, it actually got me in there. And then I'm like, wow, that's coming up in 3 weeks. And then I prompted you, hey, let's go to the podcast conference. And it was all about opening a personalized email. How important is that?
Yeah, I think we have to go back to the psychology of human beings and really understand that when somebody is talking to you and not talking to you with your name, they don't know your name, it's just a casual conversation, we have the ability to kind of walk away. Right. Even with a conflict, let's say a hostage negotiator is talking with somebody, the first thing they want to do is get that first name. Because when you start to talk to somebody with their first name, they start to pay attention. There becomes this bonding, so to speak. It's like, oh, how do you know me? That kind of thing. So using personalization, and it doesn't have to just be a first name. It could be something as simple as you purchased something from me 6 months ago, and I'm reaching out to you and saying, hey, how was that refrigerator that you bought from us? And, the specific name, or even the fact that they know I bought a refrigerator from them 6 months ago, and they're following up on it. That's kind of a personalized way to go about it. But the most easy way is literally a name, or even a nickname, because you go by Jed. If somebody were to send you an email that said Jed, you would notice that over Jim or James much, much quicker. So
yeah, that would be the third level of actually going on the website and saying, oh, who owns Jed TV? Well, it's a guy named Jed. That's his name. That would be even deeper. Right. I would probably be able to do that now, but you wouldn't have been able to do that easily 2 years ago.
Right. But so if you have, first name, last name that you're collecting information, you can use that in the personalization. But maybe you want to put how I, nickname or how I want to be addressed. You could put Jed in there, and at that point, they could reach out to you there.
So you're talking about curiosity hook, something funky. And then you're talking about personalization. I recently went to see the Cubs play in Cincinnati. And we were looking, should we go to hotel? Should we go to Airbnb? And I went on the Airbnb, and I don't know if this is relatively recent or it's been going on, but I did notice it. And I was going on to, all right, give me something in the OTR district. Give me something in Newport, Kentucky. And every one that would come up, there'd be, this is the only time, or there was some urgency clause to it on Airbnb, like, this goes fast.
Selling fast.
Yeah. Yep. Or even better, I went to buy tickets and it was like, last 4 in this section, or this, everything on all of the travel and ticket websites had an urgency clause to the purchase.
Right.
And honestly, I think it worked on me.
Yeah, it does.
I'm like, there were 3 tickets that were like 4th row near the dugout, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. And it came up, these 3 tickets won't last long. I'm like, oh, you say that to everybody. I bought them, and then I realized what a great deal that was. So sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But it makes you feel like you better do it right now.
Yeah. I mean, if there's limited capacity, limited tickets, limited whatever, I mean, if you wait, and we've done this at home, I mean, we've waited and, we'll get it, and it's sold out, and you're just like, oh, man, I missed out, right? So you can't really, a lot of the times you can't really tell, is it true, is it not true? But my favorite one is, do you buy anything off of eBay?
Once in a while,
okay,
yeah.
So I love eBay because I've kind of studied their platform for a while now, and if you throw something into a save, like you see something that you want and you save it, they'll actually email you about 15 minutes before it's done, or you could set it up for text messaging for it to email you, or to send you a text message saying there's 15 minutes left, here's the current bid, don't miss out. It's interesting to watch to me because I'm not necessarily buying stuff, but it's cool to watch how they've worked this in, because you completely forgot about whatever you saved. It's still there. The timer's coming down, and all of a sudden you get a notification. You're sitting in a Zoom meeting with somebody and your phone goes off, and you look at it, it'll say 15 minutes left in this auction. You're just, oh, okay. Or you'll get an email, right, and it'll ping your phone. That to me is really cool. Now I realize that not everybody has the capacity to do that, but when you say urgency, if tickets go on sale today and an hour later you send out an email that says there's only 50 tickets left, that's going to get noticed real quick, right? Tickets are selling out. And I know we just went through the NFL just launched their season and tickets, and I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so they sent me an email saying, hey, tickets go on sale at this time, and I was curious. I'm like, all right, let's see this. Got the email. I clicked on the button, waited. There's 1,500 people in front of me, that kind of thing, and they were selling out as it's going. So you get that motivation. It's like, oh man, am I going to miss out on this? And I didn't buy anything, but it's funny because you get worked up into it. It kind of elevates your blood level a little bit. What am I missing out on? We call it FOMO, fear of missing out, but just a simple subject line, 5 tickets left, or 5 of this item left, don't miss out. I look at it from the sports side and that, but my wife, on the other hand, will send me things. She's like, hey, they're running out of these. We need to go get them. She reached out to me yesterday, and the same exact thing. There was a retailer that had sent her an email, and she's like, I want these. They only had 9 of them. You need to go check them out after work. So at 3:30, she's sending me a text like, well, when are you getting out today? I want to make sure that we get these. And I thought, they're not going to sell out. She's like, oh, no, they're going to sell out. I got there. They were all still there, right? I go, how many you want? She goes, I want them all. I'm like, oh, goodness. So you're the one that's selling them out. But that's what I mean. Like, the urgency of I need to get them now is great in a subject line because it makes people open it real quick.
Moving on, these are kind of, the first 3 are kind of ways to just tease into the email. The 4th one is just like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Clarity and what is your value. I don't know. Free 2-for-1 pizzas on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
2-for-1 pizzas on Wednesday, and then they see who it's from. They already know what's in it. If they're clicking, they're probably pretty interested, or they're previous buyers, or there's somebody that's in that market. Like, say, if you were here in Northwest Indiana and it was Langel's Pizza, then it's probably somebody Highland, Griffith, Munster, along the Ridge, or Hammond, or Cherville, something like that. What would be an example of clarity and value?
Yeah, I think with that, you're just putting the benefit out there and saying, hey, this is what we're giving you. We're not hiding behind anything. We're not creating curiosity. It's literally, hey, get a free pizza when you buy one. Today only kind of thing. When you do something like that, they're already deciding at that point if they're buying. Like, if I'm opening that, I'm going straight to that button and clicking over. That's great. I mean, that's what we want ideally. But you're not trying to be cryptic. It's flat out. This is our great offer. This is what we're doing. Click on it. Take advantage. It's not going to last long. It's today only, whatever. But it's a benefit that you put in that subject line. That's a value. Instead of just trying to be cryptic with, what, and the winner is, as I was talking about earlier, but benefits of real value, people are going to click and open because they want to take advantage of it. So don't hide the benefit, put it right in the subject line.
Here's where we're going to disagree. Number 6 would be emojis and punctuation. You're invited, the party hat.
Yep.
If I see an emoji or funky punctuation, I'm not clicking on it.
Yep.
It turns me off. But like my daughters, they kind of talk in that and they put it in their text and all that. I'm just totally against it.
Right.
But most people aren't.
Yeah. Some people use very little emojis. Some people use emojis all the time. I'm probably very little in what I do. But when it comes to subject lines, if it works, if it makes sense, right? So if you are selling last minute, let's call it plane tickets to a certain area, and you put a little plane emoji in there, people are going to notice it, right? You already know what you're out there doing. The little party hat and things like that, I mean, that's an event, that's a celebration, something along those lines. But if it makes sense and it's not distracting from the content, if it's a complementary icon to what you're doing, I say use it every once in a while. But the other thing is to watch out for is don't make it spammy, because nobody wants to open spam. They start seeing images, or even worse, you start to see all these characters in there that are trying to stand out, a bunch of brackets and everything. Yeah, don't get spammy with it, but use it as a complementary item. And the winner is subject line that I was talking about earlier. We actually use 2 eyeballs looking to the and the winner is subject line, and we just use it because it's cute, right? It's just like, okay, let's see who it is. But we've used it without and we've used it with. I don't think it necessarily drives up the open rates significantly, but what we're trying to do with the subject line is get people to see it, right? To stand out. You say you evaluate subject lines all the time. I do as well. And I get hundreds of emails every single day, and I do a select all for the ones that are just using the same old tactics over and over. I think you just got to be creative. So if it makes sense, use it. If it doesn't, don't.
Well, one of the things I do remember from the class is using the action verbs. I mean, that's obviously in writing an ad, or in, a lot of things were on radio and TV here. And I'm always telling the writers, and they're writing news stories, to kind of boil it down to an action verb can really tell a story if you're running out of characters and so forth. You only have a few characters on that subject line, so you have here discover, unlock, that kind of thing. Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of other words that you can put in there.
Yeah, you can throw claim in there, right? So if there's set number of tickets to an event, let's say we're throwing an event in a couple weeks here on campus, and the room holds 42 people. Well, I'm sure a lot of people want to get into this room because of what we're doing, and I'm not here to push that today. But we could, if there's 42 tickets available to this event, and there's some pretty interesting people in this room, if you put claim your ticket, 42 available, I mean, at that point, that's a verb, that's a limited capacity to to claim. I mean, all of that, if it's interesting to you, is going to show the individual that I need. We're using multiple tactics here, so odds are that's going to get opened. Odds are people are going to click through. They're going to try and claim those tickets as fast as they possibly can.
And finally, this is actually a big part of all your classes, especially on emails, is A/B testing. And I quote that here. I'm like, all right, you do this on that one, and then I'll do the other one, and we'll see which one works better. And really, it's just an A/B testing, and now they're using that terminology. So define it and show how you would use it in the email.
Yeah, so there's kind of two ways that you could test. There's called A/B testing, and then there's multivariate testing, which I won't even get into on the podcast. A/B testing is basically you're testing one variable. So let's go back to the emojis. Let's say you want to send out 10,000 emails to your list, and you send 2,000 with an airplane emoji and 2,000 with a palm tree emoji in it if you're selling some kind of package. What you could do is you could set up an A/B test, 2,000 and 2,000, and the one that gets the best open rates will then populate into the rest of the send, right? So if we have 2,000 and 2,000, 4,000 went out, now we still have 6,000 emails to send. It'll look at which one is performing best and send that one to the remaining 6,000 people. So that's about as simple as we can get with an A/B test. You could do it on subject lines. You could do it with emojis. You could do it by just changing out the action verb that we talked about. But a simple A/B test is testing one variable. It's not testing, okay, let me test the two different subject lines, and let me test two different images in the email and two different colors on a button. Like, there's a variety of different ways that you can A/B test, but from the standpoint of subject lines, pick one thing. If it's one word change, one emoji change, whatever it may be, maybe you capitalize the subject line versus not capitalizing everything, right? Just one simple change just to see what works best.
Sum it up.
Pay attention. Look at your subject lines. Look at the ones that you get every single day and ask yourself, why did I just open this email? If it's not from somebody that you're expecting for work or something along those lines, if it's a promotional email, why did I just open this? I have a relationship with this company, but what made me open this one? What was it? A word? Was it an emoji? Was it the intrigue of wondering what it was? They didn't quite tell me. Ask yourself that and start to kind of scrape your inbox and look at it and say, okay, I'm going to use this in the future, and just take a little notebook and just write down those subject lines that you like. I learned that trick probably 25 years ago from a creative director.
There was email 25 years ago?
There was.
Okay.
I know. We're dating ourselves. But there was email, and I used it I had a creative director years ago that would take things that he loved and he would put them into a folder. And now that's a little archaic, but honestly, write down, save, even create a folder in your email that you could just drag and drop them into a folder and say, these are great subject lines. And then just go back to that in the future when you're struggling what you're going to do with your next email.
He's Matt Hanson. I'm Jim Diedlow. I'm Jed, and this is your Mastering Local Marketing Podcast, episode number 40. Tell your friends and get some, tell them and discuss what we're talking about. And if you have any suggestions about what you want us to talk about, they can contact you how?
Yeah, just send me an email, matt@masteringlocalmarketing.com. Come straight to me.
There it is. Until next time, see you later.
The Mastering Local Marketing Podcast helps local small business owners like you understand what it takes to successfully market your business and drive new customers through your doors. We provide actionable insights, interview leading experts and business owners in various industries, as well as provide tips and tricks we've uncovered over the last 25 years in the field. Whether you're starting your business or you've been at it for decades, let us provide you with the education and resources you need to grow your customer base. It's time to start mastering your local marketing.